Still nobody here. Well, anyways, as you guys are coming in, I know this wasn't scheduled. Uh, just to give you guys a little bit of a gist, I just left Yuma. I'm driving out to Palm Desert. I'm gonna go visit a fellow fish keeper, somebody I met through Instagram, and we've gone back and forth. Hey, Mel, how's it going? Thanks for being here. And I'm gonna go. It's about a almost a 3 hour drive for me. So I'm gonna try to make the most of it. I'm gonna go check out his fish room. Hopefully, I can film a little bit of his fish room. Reality, what I'm going is I'm gonna go pick up some crevences that he's gonna give me. He's gonna give me a group to see if I can breed them. It'll be a group of six, and that's why I'm driving up there. But since I'm up there, I think there's a couple of fish stores in the area. Yeah, you were the first one, Mel. And so I want to go check out the fish stores. I know there's two for sure, and I think there's one that is like a saltwater store. But we'll see. Maybe Ron will come along for the ride and show me around some of the local fish stores that he likes going to. So that's kind of what's going on today. Figured since I was going to be on the road for a little bit, I could go live, uh, kind of kill some time, and I guess talk about some things that I need to address, I guess. And of course, the very first one. Hey, Debs, how you doing? Vinoski, thank you for being here. Lando, how you doing this morning? And one of the things that I do want to say is thank you to everybody that was involved in helping us raise those funds for FishyBiz. That you know, it's incredible how much this community is willing to pull together and help each other out. And and there wasn't any help that wasn't significant because everything from just even liking the videos, sharing the content, uh, being present during the live stream, all of that stuff, every single one of those actions contributed to the fact that we were able to meet that goal way beyond our expectations as far as the time that we were going to do it. It's kind of funny because I know Aquafunk had been working and he thought he was going to need to publicize it at least 2 or 3 weeks so that when we went on the 28th, we had a lot of awareness out there if people would be willing to come up. Well, lo and behold, that Garcia Aquatics just coincidentally was doing his 24 hours. So I know he was trying to work on his watch hours, and he was going to be sharing out the Cash App on his thing, trying to raise some funds for that. But that's originally what that 24 live stream was going to be, and it was wonderful how that itself turned into the actual drive, and all the funds were able to be collected, and it wasn't just from the YouTube community. We had a lot of people from Instagram. Uh, Several of us are also pretty prevalent on Instagram and TikTok and just the entire fish community in itself. And and it's going to go to a very great cause. It's going to provide some meals for some people during the holidays. And if at the bare minimum we can provide a meal during that time of the year, you know, why not? Uh, and like I said, a few dollars here or there. We spend more money on fish, food, electric bills for the aquariums. I know I do. Our water, we spend a lot more of that than any contribution that we could have done to help meet that goal. So all of that is greatly appreciated, and it's just wonderful how quickly it was able to come together. A lot sooner than we had any expectations. Uh, so for that, I want to say thank you very much. Hey, Linky, thank you for being in here. Um, so like I said, everybody, I know the 28th. Here's what's going on for the 28th. Jason still wants. I mean, Alcafunk still wants to do something, but I think it's going to be more of a celebration of the fact that the funds. Oh, you guys want to see something cool? I don't know if it's going to be the camera's going to be able to pick it up, but I live near some of the biggest dunes in the United States, and these are known as the Imperial Sand Dunes. But they're pretty they're pretty big. They attract a lot of people out here during this time of the year where the weather is really nice. But you would think you're out there in the Sahara or something. You know, just pretty cool. Uh, that's one of the neat things about where I live is that we have access to these dunes. It's called the Imperial Sand Dunes. And well, anyways, uh, like I said, for the 28th, instead of doing a 24-hour, because it's kind of pointless now. The funds have been raised, and there's no need to have everybody hanging around for 24 hours or going and coming. So what it's become now is really going to be a celebration of the fact that the money was raised. Hopefully, we get some testimonials from some of the students that are in Drew's classroom, uh, as far as talking how significant that class has been for them. And it's been a long day. Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. You guys are winding down over there in Europe and Australia, I think too. I don't know. No, I was gonna say Maul, but I think he's from the from Europe. Um, well, anyways, so the 28th, the idea is to uh, do a celebratory kind of event. Something to cheer on the community. What was cool is we had already kind of had a lineup of people that were going to help through the drive. That's another thing that is really great is we had a lot of people step up and said, "Yeah, we'll help you guys out. We'll take a couple of hours," and they were willing to do that. Well, after the goals were met, obviously we reached out and said if they were, that it had been accomplished, and we explained to them what the change of plans was going to be, and they were more than happy to stick around and still be able to help us, even though we're just going to go 12 hours, which is going to be kind of cool because it won't be a burnout for whoever's trying to stream. So, I think Aquafunk should be releasing the lineup anytime this week as to the schedule, who's going to be on. I know me and him will open it up for the first couple of hours. Hopefully, we'll have uh, at least a couple of the students from Drew's class come on and speak up on what their experience has been. Uh, what they've learned. Just kind of talking about that, and that would be kind of cool to see, and for some of us to remember what it was like when we first started fish keeping. Uh, what are the things that we've learned? What are some of the failures that we've had, and sometimes we still continue to have. And just to have them understand that there's a community out there for them too once they get out of school, and that they have a support uh, network that once they're out on their own, that they can count on, and they know that this community's out there to help them through it. Whatever struggles they're having, any questions that they might have. We have so many people with experience. Even though we don't all keep the same fish, we don't keep the same invertebrates and all that stuff. There's going to be somebody in our community that's going to be able to help them out, uh, based on whatever the situation is. Some of us have experience with plants. Some of us have experience with fish. Some of us have experience with reptiles, for that matter, uh, amphibians. You name it. This community is built on a lot of people with a lot of experience. So that would be a great opportunity for them to see the resources that are available to them, and know that they don't stand alone. That they can count on us, uh, you know, not just Drew, Mr. Clark, but also the community itself. Hey, Sal, how you doing, man? Thanks for dropping in. Drive safely. Yeah, no, I'm going up to Palm Desert. I'm gonna go see Ron. His YouTube channel and Instagram is called Garage Aquatics 2023, and he's doing some pretty cool stuff. I mean, enough that I'm willing to drive out there and check it out. So that should tell you something. I haven't talked to Ron. Hopefully, I'm almost, I would say, 80% sure that he won't mind if I film or do a little tour of his fish room. In reality, I was just going to pick up the fish, and I was going to take advantage of the fact that I was already going to be in the area and try to hit up a couple of the local fish stores and do tours there. And I'm pretty sure at least one of them, who I've already exchanged messages with in the past, and have mentioned that if I'm in the area, if I could stop by the store, and they've been pretty accessible. So I don't really foresee that being an issue. So, worst case scenario, you guys will be able to see at a future date a tour of one of the stores up there it's called the Coachella Valley, and it's comprised of Coachella, Indio, Palm Desert, Palm Springs, and Desert Hot Springs, I believe. It's in Riverside County, and they're all the desert cities. When you go up to Palm Springs, it's all the surrounding areas around there. But that's kind of where I'm headed. I'm still probably a good hour 15. No, more than an hour 15, because it's like 2:15 before I get there. So we'll see what that's like. Um, what else? What else? What else? As far as okay. For Fish Plants y Mas, the other channel that we stream on Saturdays with Warrior Planet Tanks. This Saturday is going to be a little bit different. I know our schedule typically is 11 o'clock Pacific time on Saturdays, every other Saturdays. And for some people, it's kind of hard because, especially if you're on the opposite side of the world, the time we're going is probably like around the middle of the night for you. But don't worry, this Saturday we're doing a double header. We're going to have our regular stream in the morning, and our guest for that day is Stella the Decoder, or no, Stella Decoder, and that one's going to be a little bit interesting. As you can tell by the name, uh, she deals with programming and some of the tech side of it. And the reason we've reached out to her is because we're going to try to seek a little bit of advice on people that are interested on growing their channels, using the other platforms that are available, posting content, that kind of stuff. So it'll be a quick and dirty as to how you can take advantage of the other platforms that are available to help your YouTube channel grow. And some of that is also personal experience. I know for over a year now, I've been telling people, you want your channel to grow, you got to take advantage of all those platforms. And you're not gonna be able to draw everybody that's on the platforms to come to your YouTube. Just some people do not like YouTube, just like some people on YouTube do not like the other platforms that are available. CP. Oh, good thing there's somebody speeding in front of me, so I know he won't be paying attention to me. uh, and what I was saying is, if growing your channel is something you're interested in, I think it's going to be a good episode to watch. Worst case scenario, watch it as a replay. I'm sure there's going to be some jewels dropped there, and some tips, and I think originally we were supposed to have her as a guest like about a month and a half ago, but during the the brainstorming for that episode, an idea came up, and she decided to put it into practice. So basically, she's going to show us that she's going to have uh, information stats that'll prove what she said, because she had a channel that she had just started up, She has a very big presence on Twitch, and I want to say Instagram, but Twitch more than anything else. And she had just started her. Hey, Tommy. She had just started up her YouTube channel, so she didn't have a whole lot of subscribers. So she's actually going to put that. She put it into practice. She wanted it at least about a month and a half. Plus, she had some other stuff that was going on in her personal life, and she's going to bring us that evidence to see the results if it really does work or not. So it's not. It won't be just us talking about it. There will actually be some evidence to prove and back what she's going to preach. So that should be interesting. And then later that evening, and we don't stream on the evenings, but you can understand how special this guest is to us, that we're willing to move. Now, it's not a big sacrifice, it's not a big struggle, because this opens up the opportunity for people that have been wanting to watch the live stream and can't because it's early in the morning and or you got other stuff to do. This Saturday, we're also going to be streaming in the afternoon, and I believe it's going to be. Don't quote me on this because I could be wrong, but 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, which should be, I believe, 10 Eastern, because that's when our guest is going to be available. I'm not even going to keep it a secret. It's going to be Kenny from ABC Biotope Creations. Um, so that one is still falling in line with the series that we've been doing on Fish Planty Boss, the series of interviews that we're doing. So this one is we're going to be focusing in a little bit more on some of the natives, which are the darters and some of the minnows that are here in the United States. So that one is going to be. I've been looking forward to every single one of those guests that Did I lose you guys all? I just realized I hit the. There's a zone out here because I'm so close to the border that it picks up the cell towers down in Mexico. It's got to switch the U.S. to the Mexico cell sites, so I'm roaming a little bit. I think my plan covers it, so it shouldn't be too bad. And so that's who we're having on that evening. So if you've been wanting to kind of get an idea of what the show's like, this Saturday would probably be the best time to be able to get a feel for a live stream. Um, so that's the other thing that we got going on, and but that's pretty much it. Uh, I know I know everybody. It's kind of interesting because I'm not seeing a lot of that activity that we used to see during the day. But I know a big part of it is because the morning show is kind of on pause right now because Jess has been working, and just life gets in the way of stuff. And plus, kind of the tension that's going around the world right now with the situation and Israel and Palestine. Well, that's not really helping either. But you know, it looks kind of not very uplifting situation. But we'll see what happens. Um, but maybe it's time for us to really reassess and figure out what's important and make sure that we focus on that because you just never know what's going to happen in the future. uh, that's kind of been my whole thing, I guess, since I think it really was an eye opener for me when I hit 50. It didn't really jar me or anything like that, but it just kind of made me reassess and appreciate the things that really do matter a little bit more, and not get caught up on things that are not as important. There's a lot. Unfortunately, today people get triggered, people get offended, for the most obscene things. I mean, things that don't make any sense. So, you know, I guess the realization that at 50, there's a likelihood that, you know, more than half of my life expectancy has been lived. So I'm not going to get hung up on stuff that I can't change. I'm not going to get hung up on things that are pointless, insignificant. And I'm going to focus on the things that matter, the things that are important to me, the things that that I find are worth my time and attention. By bringing I know, and then, it's there's a saying, I guess, that when things are pretty good and steady and everything seems to be going fine, just people in general have to find something to be upset about. I don't know why we are like that as part of it. I don't know if it's just human nature or what it is, but man, life is so fragile. One minute we're here, the next one we're not. Why why are you gonna expend your energy on stuff that, in the bigger scope of things, really doesn't matter? It really doesn't. But it could be also being older. I'm not gonna say it's wiser, because what exactly is wiser? I just think it's being more of a understanding of your situation and reality. But yeah, as far as what I got going on for plans, I've got a couple of really cool uh, live streams coming up next week. Uh, DJ Guppy Fish, Sal. I'm gonna have the pleasure of having him on as a guest. We're gonna get to know Sal a little bit better. I had a little insight into Sal during Berto's 24-hour stream, and Sal's a cool cat, man. I'm sure he's got stories for days. Just in the little bit that me and him have exchanged conversations, texting here or there, dude's pretty awesome, and I think he's going to be a really, really, really fun interview. I'm looking so forward to having him on. Uh, I'm almost positive that everybody that's on this chat right now has been subscribed to his channel. But for those that are watching the replay and and don't really follow a lot of the other live streams, go check out DJ Guppy Fish. Uh, he's he's just started too. He makes no qualms about it. There's a misconception sometimes that when you see an older guy or an older person, I'm not going to say guy, an older person that's in the hobby, the assumption is automatically that, oh, they must have a lot of experience. And that's why I love Sal, because he's very upfront about it. He says he's only been doing this for 3 years. But in 3 years, there's a lot of growth. And there's a lot of experience that could be acquired during that time. And a lot of it has to be how much time you dedicate to your fish room and the fish. And he's been doing that lately. So I don't want to spill too much on it, because I want you guys to tune in for that. Worst case scenario, you guys can watch the replay. But yeah, Sal, I'm really, really looking forward to it. And the other one was a really neat and pleasant surprise to me. I don't know how many of you guys remember Trent from Well Done Tanks. He was going big for a while. I mean, he started growing. It started out with a group of friends, like most of these things do, and they were doing some live streams. They were doing some collabs. Uh, I'm trying to remember what Michael's channel was. I think it was like Bay Area Aquatics, and then it was Peter from what is it, Guppy? God, why am I? It's Guppy Guru. It was Guppy Guru, and it was Trent. And I used to love watching the three of them together. Um, but then, they had some just changes in life. They were at the time. I think, if I'm not mistaken, at least two of them were single, or not in any sort of serious relationships. And then, of course, what life takes over, and they got busy with other stuff, and they were doing some other things, and now I think Michael has totally quit doing content with that's fish related. I don't know. He was doing some photography stuff, and he had a photography channel. Um, but I don't know if he's. I didn't follow that. I was watching more of his stuff that he was doing in those aquariums, and then I know Guppy Guru had kind of taken a break because he wanted to focus on his education. I guess the last couple of videos that I've seen from him, he's studying to become an ecologyst. So that's kind of what he's doing now, or at least that's what he's posted. So that's kind of where he's been. He got married, and then I guess they had a partnership with the store. Um, it's, I, the Waterfront, I believe, is the name of the store that's in the Salt Lake City area. This has been a while though. It's been like 2 years since they were doing all of this, and that's what they were doing. And then they've all kind of gone different directions. But anyways, going back to Trent. Trent uh, had decided at one point that he was going to move out of Utah. He went to Texas. The plans were to try to start up a fish. He was really going to get into breeding a lot heavier and work. I also allowed him to move down there. He was going to go work for a company or whatever. But now let him tell his story as to what happened. But you know, this is what I say, that life is interesting. Life is always throwing curveballs at us, and sometimes it you got to do an audible. So he kind of went away for a while, and but he started popping up on Instagram, and on Instagram I started following him again, and he started. I guess I'm not going to put. I'll let him say why the change, but he's kind of rediscovered his passion. But he's kind of been focusing on saltwater now, and he started picking up his content creation on Instagram of all places. And recently he's been posting almost like every other day. And I was watching that, and I said, what the hell? I'm gonna send him a message, because I've been following him for quite a while now. And I asked him how he was doing, and I was happy to see him back. And I said, hey, you know what? I Since you've been gone, I started up a channel. I started doing live streams. I think I asked him how difficult would it be to entice you to be a guest on my stream, and boy was I blown away, because he immediately responded. I wasn't expecting a response, but he had just posted some content on Instagram, and immediately, almost within a minute, he goes, it wouldn't require too much to entice me. So we started going back and forth. Uh, we agreed upon a date and a time, and I guess Thursday, uh, Trent will be my guest, and that one's going to be exciting, because I love to hear what he's been doing for the last year and a half, 2 years, uh, as far as with the hobby. Uh, I know he had to cut back on a lot of his stuff. He had announced that he was going to quit breeding for a little bit. He was going to downsize. He kept some aquariums. I don't know. I know he had gone through a couple of losses, um, as far as pets are concerned, and just life in general. They're a very young family, so that takes up a lot of the time too. So, but it'll be real nice to be able to catch up with him. Like I said, I've been a big fan of what he's been doing. He seems to me, I've never met the guy in person, but his personality and mine seem to jive, and I just think it's going to be fun. I mean, for me, it is. I'm looking forward to it. If you haven't, if you don't know who he is, because you just recently become part of the Fish Fan, go check it out. It's called Well Done Tanks. He hasn't posted anything new on there for about a year and a half, if I remember, because I kind of went and looked at it, or yeah, somewhere around a year. But if you go check out his Instagram account, he's been posting there almost almost daily now, and that's been for like the last couple of weeks. And he seems re-energized, excited. Uh, I'm looking forward to see what he's going to be doing. Who's Dips? Did you say goodnight or? Oh, okay. I'm I better pay attention on the road instead of trying to read the chat. Not that I ever do read the chat too much. I'm horrible at that. That's something I need to be able to work. I admire uh, everybody that's able to stream and keep up with the chat. I can see very easily why people start falling behind on it. But you know, but that's what I got going on as far as on my channel. Videos, I haven't done much. I guess if I can film at least one of the fish stories, that'll be some new content you guys will be able to see. I don't know. I I film fish stories because I like watching those videos, and the reason I like watching them because half the time these are fish stories that I know I more than likely will never be able to get to visit, just because they're not within my proximity. Unless I happen to be there by chance, more than likely, especially when you start talking about stores from I want to say from Texas east, that corridor from there, because I do go out to Texas. That's the only reason I say that. Uh, you start heading in those directions, and the likelihood of getting to some of those other fish stores, unless you go to a big event and happen to be within the proximity of those areas, more than likely you're not going to get an opportunity to visit them. But I love watching the stores because they're all so different. They all have their own personality. I love seeing what the community in that area likes to keep. Not all fish stores are alike. That's why I kind of enjoy watching them. Um, and just kind of seeing what kind of fish are kept in what part of the country, because there is a I guess like demographics when it comes to fish keeping, and some of it could be access to what's out there. Other things could be just simply parameters. You know, what kind of water is in that area that allows you to keep certain types of fish. Uh, I know out here in Arizona and I think Southern California, New Mexico, that kind of region, we have liquid rock. Even some of Texas, because I always hear my fellow Texans, fish keepers, that they're always complaining about water parameters being a liquid rock coming out of the tap. So you can expect to see a lot of the African cichlids, a lot of the Central American cichlids out in this area, a lot of guppies, uh, a lot of shrimp. The neocaradinas, just because the water parameters are just suitable for that. I mean, why would you want to fight it? Why would you want to try to keep something where you're going to have to really work at it? Uh, I mean, unless you really want it. But for the most part, you know, it's just one of those things. Let me see. I stayed quiet because I'm now back in one of the country roads, and the CHP was right in front of me. That's why I dropped the camera. Doing stuff you're not supposed to be doing. It's the thrill. Uh, so when I get to watch those store tours, especially the stuff that's like outside of the country, those are even better. I really love those because there's the likelihood of ever being there goes up like tenfold. Um, I'd never say never, but the likelihood really gets reduced. Uh, so that's why I kind of like to go when I'm in a new area. or I know the area might have some type of a uh, local fish store, I really make a point to try to go visit. At the bare minimum, just visit. Even if I can't film it, I'm always interested in just seeing. And you never know what you're going to come across in some of these stories either. Uh, for me, especially for me, I don't have the luxury of living in a metropolitan area that has several fish stores. Like I've said in the past, the only thing that I have access to is a PetSmart, and not a very big PetSmart at that. So the selections are pretty much I can almost name them off because every time I go see them, I I I look at the tanks and it's the same fish over and over. They got Oscars, convicts, Severums, African cichlids, goldfish, feeder fish, or the rosy minnows, angelfish, Plecostomus, but not even bristlenose. They just carry the common plecos. They have some rubber lips, but not all the time. Oh, nope. Hold your horses. Oh, trying to cross an intersection. Get on it. All right. Here we go. And they have that. They have obviously several of the glowfish. The tetras, the uh, Daniels, that stuff. And then they have some guppies. Not the guppies you expect to find at a PetSmart. They do have some of the most common tetras, and once in a while they'll bring in some rams. The Bolivian rams are kind of like a staple, but once in a while you'll get some German blues. The only thing that I don't like lately, for some reason, they've been bringing in only the balloon, and I'm not a big fan of balloon fish. Um, you know, it's just I don't know. It's just not for me. Balloon any fish, but you know, I understand why they do it. I know it increases the cute factor for a lot of people, and it does entice new hobbyists, just like the glowfish. And to be honest, I don't have anything against the glowfish. I just you know, I think I enjoy their natural colors a little bit more. I do like native fish, so you know, I don't need to have that extra coloration on them, but I do see how it entices, especially children. It's a night catcher. I know because my grandkids always gravitate to that, and whenever I'm at the PetSmart, I always see little kids staring at that aquarium. So I understand why they're there. Uh, but anyways, and then they recently started bringing in some Neos, but you can tell they're the coals of the coals. They're the coloration. The It would almost be, I guess, back to when they first started trying to get pull colors out of the wild types. They're not very good quality, but what's to be expected from a PetSmart? But at least for somebody that's willing to put in the work and also learn at the same time, uh, they have access to that. Although at the prices they're paying for them, why go through all that? Just there's plenty of quality breeders out there that you can get them and save you all that headache and just start reproducing straight lines. But for like somebody like me that always likes the challenge and tinkering and tinkering with the fish and trying to see what you can accomplish, why not? That's the way that I find myself staying entertained because I can't constantly be buying fish. I can't constantly be buying aquariums. I'm not going to do that. So what's the next best thing? See if you can straighten out a mud guppy line. Pull some very nice looking guppies and see if you can breed out something out of them that becomes a higher percentage that is breeding true. And those are the things that I do to stay entertained and not burn out. Again, that's probably why you don't see a lot of content on my channel because if you pay attention, almost everybody that is out there and growing is always doing one up. It's a bigger aquarium, a bigger fish room, a bigger fish, a trending fish. And that's probably a good thing that I don't live in an area where I would have access to all of that, because I don't know, maybe the reason I'm not doing this is because I don't have that access. The reality is I don't think I would anyways, because what do you do with what you have? Are you going to kill off the fish that you have? Are you going to, well, I guess you could sell it, or you could take it to a fish auction or whatever. But what I have is, they're with me until they pass. The only ones that I've been contemplating getting rid of, and I have to confess, I've never been a big goldfish fan, and I do have goldfish, and the goldfish that I have was because those are the fish that my grandkids selected, and I've kept them. But now that they're a little bit older, and they seem to be gravitating to the other fish that are in the fish room, I'm thinking that I'd like to take up that aquarium and do something different with it. And the only reason why I am even contemplating getting rid of the goldfish, because if you've seen my channel, I like plants. That's kind of what brought me back into the hobby after a long time being away from it. Has always the plants, and I'm not doing any high tech now. I just, to me, and you know what? Now that I've kept different species and I've seen, stem plants, rhizome plants, mosses, all those kind of stuff, there's something to me about a jungle fowl, just jungle type tank that I just find so attractive. I mean, it's the simplest plant you can buy, but when you let it all grow out and it looks like just a jungle in there, man, I personally really like it. And at the end of the day, these aquariums are for me, for my liking. So, you know, I want to be able to use that aquarium. Uh, put some jungle plants in there and watch it grow out. And then now that I've kind of been tinkering with breeding angelfish, and an update on that, and I'll bring you guys up to this. It's not good. Now that I'm learning how to breed angelfish, and the spawning is easy. The spawning is, they do it themselves. There's no work to be done. And if I could get them to raise their fry, that's the way I would be doing it, because I'm not a big hands-on kind of breeder. I let it do its own. I think nature has been its own best course, in my opinion. Yeah, you don't get the big yields, but then again, I'm not looking to reproduce hundreds of thousands of fish, because, for one, I don't have the market to get rid of them. And so, if out of a spawn, if three of them make it all the way through, I'm more than happy. I can house three different angelfish. I can move three angelfish relatively easy and not saturate my small market. Because that's the other thing. If you start breeding stuff like that, you very quickly run out of who to sell to. So that's what I'm thinking ahead is, if I can figure out this raising the fry, because that's where the challenge is for me, is trying to raise the fry, because I'm at work. And when you're breeding, you almost have to be on top of these things if you're trying to breed them yourself. Trying to raise them yourself, and it requires a little bit more diligence. You have to be on top of the feedings. You have to be on top of the water changes. Granted, my biggest mistake was not setting up an automated water change system for the fry, and it's not very difficult. That's probably a video that's coming soon. Not so much a how-to, but just showing you how I'm doing mine. I went and oh man, I just thought it was too corny to do this. I don't know, for those of you guys, those people that are outside the United States, but out here in the States, we have these little stores that are relatively inexpensive. obviously the product of the quality of the products you're buying is not very top end, but you're paying pennies on the dollar for it. You know, we call them 99-cent stores, which are no longer 99 cents. They're $1.25 and up. But anyways, I like going to these stores, especially when you're trying to put together a project like that that's going to be pretty much a custom build. So it's, you know, it's really up to your imagination how you build this. There's some good ideas. I know the best, the one that gets referred to the most for the setup, or a lot of people have taken inspiration, as I am, is from Dean, from Dean, the master fish breeder for Aquarium Co-op. And I know most of us know who he is, and we know, and you know which fry rack I'm talking about. Well, taking a page from that, uh, me being, not wanting to go out and buy an aquarium, I had a tote, one of those rubber totes. Actually, I have a few totes, and I want to set it up on a tote. The same. It's the same principle. It's just going to be on totes and stuff I bought from the 99-cent store. So I was able to go find some dish racks because I needed to find. Okay, here's what the idea was. I have the tote idea comes from Mark from Piles Aquatics. I like the one that he used. It's basically one of those long, narrow totes that you put clothes to be able to slide under your bed, your bed, not your bed. And I have an extra one of those that I'm hoping my wife doesn't pay attention that I'm taking. And by the time she figures it out, it'll have a fry system in it. And I know she's not watching the video, so I'm not, or the live stream, so I'm not even worried about it. But I'm going to take one of those. And then I was thinking, how can I come up with a system that'll raise it above the bottom? What I was thinking is, wow, I can some of the little rectangular, like little pyramids, and make a platform uh, to sit the shoe boxes on top of that. The shoe boxes are going to be the plastic shoe boxes are going to be the little fry, uh, they're where they have the automatic water change. I don't know what to call it. I'm slipping my mind right now. But I needed something to raise it. I know Mark had used some light diffuser, but he was complaining that it was sagging, that it wasn't rigid enough, even though he had stuck some PVC pipe at the bottom to create some type of support. He still was saying that it was sagging a little bit in the middle. So I was thinking, okay, what else can I do that could prevent that from doing? And I don't know why I am so freaking cheap. I could have easily gone and built a rack out of PVC pipe, but I guess in a way it becomes sort of a challenge. All right, Sarah, thank you. And I'm always with the idea. Wow, I know I could do it this way, but can I do it for a little bit cheaper? Because it always in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, at the end of the day, if it doesn't work out, I didn't spend that much money on it, and I can just throw it away if it fails. And so I went and I went to the 99-cent store, and I found some drying dish racks that were made out of plastic. They just happened to be, and but that wasn't. I think the first thing that I had found was some organizing trays for papers. They just happened to be also rectangular, and they were rigid enough, and they were flat and level. They weren't offset. So I said, you know what? I might get this to work, and use that as the surface to be able to elevate the shoe boxes from the water, and have a rigid surface where I could put them. But I kept looking around. That must have looked like an insane man going up and down all the aisles. I'm always looking to see what I can find at these value stores that I can somehow uh, use it in the fish room. Uh, those fancy aquascaping little pallet blades or spades that they use? Really? Just go get yourself a plastic putty knife. Does the same thing. And what's cool with the putty knife, you can get it in different sizes. Those plastic 99-cent putty knives. You can get them, as wide as about 6 inches all the way down to about a 2 inch. So, why not? And so finding stuff like that. Uh, I found a real, like a toy dustpan that had a nice rigid plastic scoop. I use it to scoop out the gravel. It's a good size. So I'm always looking around these stores, just trying to find something that I go, oh wait, I can use that for this. You're looking for those of you that are cichlid breeders and are looking for potting plants, a terracotta plant. If you're not going to these stores, I don't know what's wrong with you. You're only going to pay 99 cents for the big old pots, and versus if you go to Walmart, they're usually about $5. There's a lot of good finds. I know a couple of people have made videos on stuff you can buy from these value stores that you can use in the hobby. So, anyways, going back to my story, I was able to find that, so now I've got to put them together. And I guess during the week, obviously not today because I'm driving out to Palm Desert. But during the week, hopefully I have an opportunity to put that together. If I don't forget to film, the problem with me is I get to working, not thinking about it, and I don't put and it's, even if I just, the tripod I'm using now, if I was to stand that up, um, that's all I need to do. But sometimes I just start, and before I realize it, I'm halfway done to whatever it is that I'm doing. I go, oh, I should have recorded that, and I don't. But that's on me. So hopefully I'll record this just to kind of show you what I'm doing. As far as to the fry, I know I had uploaded a short where you saw a bunch of little fry in there. Didn't make it. A lot of them didn't make it. That floating device, I guess, did not have a good exchange of water, even though it was in the aquarium in there. I should have rigged a little spout that could have gone into there. But it was late at night, and I had to go to work early in the morning, and I guess it must have spiked. I made the other mistake was I dropped in some powder food in there at night, and where normally I was doing it in the morning, where I could feed them, wait a few minutes, and change out the water. I didn't do that night, so a lot of them, I would say most of them, didn't make it. So if I looked I transferred them back to where I had hatched the eggs, and I think there was still about 8 of them that were in there that I could at least count. So hopefully, out of those 8, if I can get 3, I'll be very happy. If I get 1, I won't be disappointed. But lesson learned. The best thing I'm going to be able to do then is just to create that rack that'll be constantly doing those water changes. The other thing I need to figure out is food that I'm going to be able to feed them. I tried doing the infusoria. I don't know if it had enough or not. I don't have the desire, to be honest, to be hatching brine shrimp every other day. I just I know it's the best thing I could do for them, but the problem with that I also found out is that as soon as they're done eating, if I don't do a water change for them, and those brine shrimp die out, it could spike the water. Seed the feeders. The one on this platform, for some reason the comments just flash up. Hopefully, it'll save them. And after the live stream, I can go back and read those comments because I wanted to see what I'd say. What I was doing, I was taking guppy grass and moss, not moss, algae that was growing on some of my more established aquariums, and putting it in that fry tank. But I just don't know if it has enough infusoria to be able to constantly have a meeting. And then I saw why is his name slipping me? But anyways, he's keep fish simple, or yeah, keep fish simple. Uh, where he found an easy way to do the infusoria colony, so that's what I did. I replicated what he did, and I was feeding out of that bucket. But again, since my eyes are not that good anymore, uh, he said you put it up to the light, you could see the little specks. There's not enough light in this world that allow me to see those little specks. So I was feeding that, but I don't know if I was feeding enough or not. So I'm kind of now in a situation where I don't know if I didn't have enough food in there. I know the one in the aquarium was water quality. It looked like stagnant water, so I need to rethink that. Fortunately for me, the angelfish about every 2 weeks are putting out eggs. Uh, I've already found out that I can pull them, put them in the same one that I used this time to get the eggs to hatch out. Now what I need to figure out or learn is how to raise those fry. And hopefully I've learned from these mistakes. Hopefully from the feedback that you guys are leaving in the chat, I'll learn some tips that I can incorporate into this and have a little bit more success. Again, my definition of success is very different from other people. But like I said, if I can get out of an entire clutch, if I can get 10, there it is. The feed, and put black sunflower seeds in it. Oh, okay. This has a bar. Okay. Wow. I'll, I'll have to read those comments because it doesn't allow me to read the whole thing real quick. They fade in and fade out. But I shouldn't be reading the comments anyways. I should be focusing on the road. So that's where I'm at with that. I would love it though. The idea was this next clutch of eggs that the angelfish dropped was I was going to allow them to try to see if they didn't eat the eggs, for one, and two, see if I could get them to raise a fry. If they were able to not eat the eggs and raise the fry. Oh, the other issue that I found out is that I had a bristlenose pleco. It was a small one in that aquarium. So between either the angelfish eating out the eggs or that pleco munching on them at night. So that's why I had opted out to pull them into a Tupperware that I knew I didn't have anything. I don't have any shrimp, any snails. It's just the eggs. And I was able to get them down to wigglers, and I was able to successfully get them to grow out of wigglers into free swimming. It's just I need to figure out how to get them past that free swimming. So, like I said, all of this, there's no failures. It's just an opportunity to learn, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. And then the other thing is, I recently got some Pseudomagills. I want to say it's Furcata, Furcuda. I don't. I, it's the ones that have the split tails on them, and it looks like I got the right ratio. I think it's definitely a male, and the other two look like two females, but they're still kind of smaller than the male. And I need to do a little bit more research on those because I never really had paid attention because I didn't have them. Okay, that must be a different conversation. And so I need to start doing a little bit more research for that. But I think I have a trio. I have a male and two females. And then I have to figure out, I think they're spawn moppers because they call them rainbow fish, even though supposedly they're not rainbow fish anymore. And so I don't know what they are. They're kind of like me. I'm not really American. I'm not really Mexican. So it's suffering from an identity crisis. Uh, but anyways, and so I'm gonna try to see if I can figure out how to breed those, especially because those are not common in my area. Uh, this young kid ordered them from Aquafuna, and he decided he didn't really like them, I guess, and he decided to go with some guppies that I had that he liked. So to me, now, I gave him some. Well, to make it seem fair, he went for the guppies, but I gave him my. He saw that I had shrimp, so I gave him some neocaradinas, some cherries, and some blue dreams, and gave him a good amount. I think I gave him like 10 of each, and he wanted some plants, so I gave him some plants. He thought he was going to pay for them, but I thought it was, to me, was more than a fair trade because I have all that stuff is real easy stuff that I can get, but it's not easy for me to get those Sudamagills unless I go up to Phoenix or San Diego. Mexican Rican. Yeah, yeah, we're half. Well, no, see, I'm not necessarily a half breed. I was just born in the states, uh, but my parents uh, kind of, when nobody was looking, made it over here. But now they've become full citizens. Not not until they got the residencies a while back, and then you know I think after my brother and I had joined the service, they figured, you know what, since we're sending our kids off to the military, the least we can do is become citizens of the United States. So that's roughly around the time they became citizens too. So you know it is what it is. But that's what's going on in there. As far as any other breeding projects, like I said, mostly live bears. And what I like about live bears is the best way to breed live bears is just add water and food. That's it. Give the baby somewhere to hide. They're they're almost easier than they're definitely easier than breeding brine shrimp, in my opinion. uh, because I don't have to do anything. Just feed them in water, occasional water changes, and you start getting outrun. The discus that uh, Dr. Anthony gave me, they're doing fine. They're starting to grow. Uh, they're they're my little hungry hippos. Those guys can eat. I don't think there's enough food I can put in that aquarium that I'm not used to. I'm not a very big. I'm not a heavy feeder when it comes to my aquariums. But these guys put down some food. I mean, more than I'm used to feeding any of my aquariums. But there's enough fish in there that I'm not worried about. I got a bunch of mollies in there, and it was kind of nice to move the mollies into that aquarium because they're now I'm starting to see them grow. It seemed like they had kind of stunted where they were at. It was only a 55, but it wasn't a 48 footer. It was a 36 footer. Um, so I had more depth. But now that I put them in this 48 footer, they're getting pretty good size. They must be about 3 inches now, three and a half inches. And so I'm starting to really get that appreciation for the mollies, how big they can get. So that's what's going on in there. The disc is still a long, long, long ways away from being able to breed those guys. I'm still in the phase of don't kill them. Uh, so that's kind of where I'm at with those. Luckily, those are not wild caught. Dr. Anthony had been. I think these are way far removed, like several generations far removed from anything that's wild. And he raised them on straight tap water, and I know his and my water are pretty similar. If his is not harder than mine, but so that's where I'm with those. Uh, I was able to get 3 angelfish. That was also another trade with another hobbyist here. She originally wanted some of the guppies because I've been posting my little shorts onto on my Facebook. And here locally, I belong to a couple of two or three different Facebook groups that are fish keeping pages, and they started asking me if I was selling. So a lot of the guppies I don't sell. If somebody's interested in them, I'll let them have them. I don't tell them that. I just, I tell them, yeah, come on in and based on how many you want, we'll figure something out. Because if I tell them they're free, I'm always afraid of that one person that's going to want to try to exploit that, and, not necessarily keep it for themselves. So, if they're interested, I'll have them come over. They really don't get an idea for how many aquariums I have because they're usually little shorts here and there. So we'll spend like a good 45 minutes to an hour just talking about the different aquariums, and then I'll I'll let them take what they want, and that'll be it. Well, with this lady, she came to pick up some of the guppies, and she saw some of the shellies that I had. So I gave her like a breeding trio, and she gave me some the angelfish that where she was going to put the shellies in. So that's how I got another three veil tails. They're nice. They're nothing special. It's a marble, white and black. One of those the wild types, the ones that are silver with the black bars on them, and the other one is like a low quality koi, but and they're still tiny, tiny. Maybe a 50-cent size coin, that about that size. So they still got plenty of growing out to do. In the meantime, since they're not paired off, I went ahead and put them with the discus. You can keep discus and angelfish pretty. It's a pretty common combination. So they're all in there growing out. It's the biggest aquarium I have, so hopefully that'll allow for the growth to happen a little bit quicker. So that's what's going on there. Uh, I do my last electric blue Acara that I have in that 75-gallon. Something's going on with him. I don't know if he's getting older because that sucker is huge. Everybody that comes, I didn't have an appreciation for how big he was until people outside of people that know me have been coming to the fish room and they look at it and they go, "Holy smoke, they get that big." For me, because I've seen them grow. It just, and I see them every day. I don't have that appreciation for the size until people come over and they tell me that that's the biggest one they've seen. But I know when I got them, when I got the group, they must have been at least 3 years old. I want to say that Henry, the guy that gave them to me, he had them for about that long. Or at least that's how long I had known him, and he's had them since I known him. But I've never really asked him when he got them. So, and I don't know how long they live. To be honest, I don't know. I know some fish can live up to 10 years. I have no idea how long these fish can live for. So I'm thinking maybe age is starting to catch up with him because he doesn't have any internal parasites that I can see because in his fecal matter it hasn't. You don't get that white long um, lining of the stomach. I'm not seeing that. He's not. He's not suffering from bloat or anything like that because he's not bloated. His skin looks good. He doesn't. I don't see any irritations. I don't see any lesions. The only thing that I do see is that he has a hard time trying to stay. It's not upright, but I guess parallel, especially when he's trying to eat off the bottom or off the surface. Because typically he would kind of nosedive but it wouldn't be almost at a 90 degree. He would just kind of come down, eat, and then he would kind of level himself out. Lately, it's almost like he's coming down, will lose his buoyancy and almost do like a backflip. And I've noticed him the last 3 days. I noticed it that it just, what the hell happened? He's fine. He'll stay, parallel or horizontal, not vertical. And he'll be fine and he'll swim, but it's what he eats. And I've never had that happen to me before with a fish that I've noticed. Well, I guess I'm noticing on this guy because he's so big or bigger for what I keep compared to the little, inch and a half, 2 inch fish. And but it doesn't seem like his quality of life has degraded as far as he's not lethargic. Uh, he's still out and about, out in the front. He still acts like he's the boss of the tank. So I don't know what to make of it. Um, maybe it's just an old fart like me, but we'll see. So I'm not. I don't have like a personal connection with the damn fish. I like him. I enjoy him. I think he's real neat. Is it going to bother me if he goes away? Yeah, it's going to bother me, but not to the point where I would be like, ah, sucks, that he died. But it is what it is. I'll try to figure out what else goes in there next, I guess. What's Lando saying? I'll be back later. Yeah, go get your homework done, Lando. Quit trying to skip homeschool. But yeah, that's pretty much. That's why I haven't really done any videos. I haven't gotten any new fish that I can speak about, that I know, that I have knowledge about. Like I said, these pseudomugills are totally new to me. I'm still learning about those. I'm not gonna make a video on those because what am I gonna say? I don't have a whole lot of experience with them. Maybe uh, you know, few months down the road, once I start seeing the behavior a little bit more, uh, maybe see a little bit of breeding behavior, something that I can talk about from experience. Maybe then, but what am I do? Talk about guppies, talk about mollies, talk about platies. There's already tons of videos on that. And I'm not. I have projects that are pending, but they require money, so they're kind of on hold. I have to build a different rack system because my wife wants me to open up the fish room. I guess she doesn't like opening the door and walking right into the little shoe horse that I have, and she wants to be able to utilize the garage a little bit more, or I don't know. So I have a whole wall. It's like a 10-foot wall that I can take that side of it, lean it up against there, and I need to make a new rack for the 140. And the idea behind that is right now the way it's situated, that's a 30-inch tank, and it's sitting. I want to say the top shelf is about 5 feet, and it's just way too high. I have to get it on a step ladder to be able to reach all the way to the top. And when I want it, and right now it's got a lot of green spot algae because I can't reach my arm all the way down uh, where it's at. Because by the time I get up on the ladder, trying to reach over, like a big portion of my arm gets wasted in trying to reach around instead of being able to stand above it and just bend over um, and try to get to the bottom of it. So the idea behind is I want to move that aquarium to the bottom rack. And since I have that 50 gallon low boy where I want to put the shellies in, which I haven't, that's the only reason I haven't done the video and I haven't moved the shellies is because I know I have to make that rack. I want to put them on top because if I can put that rack at 6 feet, and since that aquarium is only 10 inches tall, there's no problem with maintenance. There's no problem with anything. I can see the fish almost at eye level. Uh, so, it'll. I think it just makes more sense to do that. Whereas, and I can take better advantage of that aquarium being lower on the ground for the maintenance. I can get a lot more space to be able to work in it. Because believe it or not, where it's at now, if I get up on the step ladder to the very last step, well, it's not a yeah, it's a taller step ladder, more than 2 steps. It's a 6 foot ladder. That's what it is. No, it's not. It's like a 4 foot ladder. I can get all the way to the top of that. I still don't have a lot of room on the top to try to be able to clean that aquarium. Versus if I put it at the bottom of it, I'll have at least I can set it up to have at the bare minimum 18 inches to allow me to work in there, and still have that low boy on top where it's not too far gone and I can't see it. Because with shellies, since they stay so far down to the bottom of the water column, it's almost ideal to have them at eye level to be able to really appreciate them. Because half the time you're looking at them from the top down. So doing that, I think, would make more sense. And then I have to figure out a different rack system for my 10 gallons. Because again, going to right now, I have the aquarium set up the long way, so they're not horizontal. They're you get the smaller viewing area because you're looking at the side panel, but I got more depth. Well, that version of that rack allowed me to have more aquariums on one level, but it doesn't really allow me to scape them too much and get an appreciation for little scape. Believe it or not, I like to scape my 10 gallons. So if I put them, where you're supposed to originally watch those those aquariums with the big um, panels, the viewing panel, then I need to make a rack system that. And I've looked at the aquarium co-op rack, the one where it just has the ledges where you sit the aquariums. These are not that heavy. They should be able to hold up. That's kind of what I'm kind of toying with the idea of doing. I've looked at a couple of other where allow you to do three horizontal ones, uh, 2 stacks. So, but I haven't decided, and I don't know. I have to look at the amount of area. I'm going to quit talking for a minute because I got to go to a checkpoint for customs. So they're going to think it's funny if I continue to talk and driving. So we'll see what happens. So bear with me for the awkward silence. Thank you. All right. Luckily, they thought I looked American enough. They didn't ask me for my green card. No, it's because we live so close to the border. Anybody that lives close to the border, whether it's Texas or California, Arizona, New Mexico. New Mexico, not so much, but definitely El Paso. They have the U.S. Border Patrol has like a 50. I don't want to say it's like a 50-mile. I guess you want to call it radius from the border that they'll set up like a secondary checkpoint, and they usually put them in high traffic areas. Just to prevent smuggling of all types. Money, people, uh, drugs. So they have these random checkpoints, random because now they're originally they were only supposed to be there temporary and sporadically, but these guys are open 24/7. Um, they don't move. But anyways, so that's what I got that I need to be able to have done in the fish room, and I haven't done yet. But and again, that's just because it requires one, time, and two, a little bit of money to be able to do that. Let's see. Oh, my wife's trying to get a hold of me. Guys, I gotta go because I really have to take this. Thank you guys for being here. Let me go ahead and end this here. You guys have been here for me for almost 2 hours. You guys have a good day.